The Nightly Business Report.
Good evening. Tonight, Article 4 consultation and second review under the Extended Fund Facility for Sri Lanka gets its spot on the International Monetary Fund's Executive Board meeting agenda. Sri Lanka's current dollar earnings from merchandise exports, remittances, tourism and other services exceeds imports in April 2024. Stock market doesn't seem to recover as it begins the week once again in a negative trend. Nvidia climbs up its spot as the second most valuable company, surpassing Apple due to the reliance on high-end chips.
From Studio 24, here's Sanuvi Mudanayaka.
Good evening and thank you for joining us. The State Minister of Finance, Shehan Semasinga, says that the Article 4 consultation and second review under the Extended Fund Facility for Sri Lanka are on the International Monetary Fund's Executive Board meeting agenda scheduled for the 12th of June 2024.
He stated, posting on social media platform X, that the session will evaluate Sri Lanka's economic policies and reform progress. He also said Sri Lanka looks forward for continued support of all countries for a successful review to unlock the third tranche, which will further enhance economic stability, growth and reform efforts. IMF staff and the Sri Lankan authorities have reached a staff-level agreement on economic policies to conclude the second review of the 4-year EFF-supported program and the 2024 Article 4 consultation, the director of IMF Communications, Julie Kozak, said last month. She added that once the review is approved by IMF management and completed by the IMF Executive Board, Sri Lanka will have access to about $337 million in financing.
Official data shows that Sri Lanka's current dollar earnings from merchandise exports, remittances, tourism and other services exceeded imports by $542 million in April 2024.
Sri Lanka's hard goods exports were $877.6 million in April, up from $848.6 million a year ago, in a holiday month which usually has a 20% downturn. Remittances were $543.8 million, up from $454 million last year. Tourist income was estimated at $225.7 million for April, which is from a survey and may not be as reliable as import-export data from customs or remittances data from banks. Gross services, which include tourism, was $558 million. Foreign exchange earned by Sri Lankans from exports, remittances and gross services were $1,977 million in April 2024. Merchandise imports were only $1,435 million, leveling a surplus of $542 million.
A new International Finance Cooperation study has found that Sri Lanka surpasses regional counterparts in recruiting women at the entry level in the banking sector, with women comprising 46% of new recruits.
The report, supported by the Women in Work programme, a partnership between IFC and the Australian government, also highlights Sri Lanka's leadership in board-level gender diversity, with women holding 27% of board positions compared to 20% in Nepal and 14% in Bangladesh. The IFC said in a statement today that the report Women's Advancement in Banking in Emerging South Asian Countries aims to optimize opportunities that enable women to advance to senior roles in the banking industry across South Asia. The multi-country study, among the first of its kind in the region, focuses on private sector commercial banks in Bangladesh, Nepal and Sri Lanka, where women constitute 30% of the banking workforce compared to the global average of 52%. Research conducted across 7 leading private commercial banks in Sri Lanka, representing 41% of the market share, formed the basis of insights on Sri Lanka.
The Pakistani media reported that Punjab Governor of Pakistan, Sardar Salim Haider Khan, has assured that Pakistan is committed to extending cultural ties with Sri Lanka.
The Punjab governor made this remark during a bilateral meeting that took place between a Sri Lankan delegation led by Minister of Buddha Sasana Religious and Cultural Affairs Vidura Wickramanayake, who is currently on an official visit to Pakistan. The delegation called on Punjab Governor Haider Khan at his official residence in Lahore. During the meeting, both parties have discussed the issues of mutual interest and ways to enhance cooperation in economic, tourism and other sectors between the two countries. The Punjab governor has expressed that Pakistan and Sri Lanka have cordial relations, while underscoring the need to enhance existing bilateral cooperation between the two countries. The Pakistani governor has mentioned that there is a need to explore new avenues of cooperation between the two countries in economic and tourism sectors and ensure sustainable development in the region. Haider Khan also expressed that they invite Sri Lanka to explore the possibilities of joint ventures in tourism and hospitality sectors and to invest in the tourism sector.
The event was attended by Minister of Tourism Harin Fernando, Ministry Secretary HMBP Herath, UNDP Resident Representative in Sri Lanka Azusa Kubota, Chairperson of SLTDA Priyantha Fernando, Director General of SLTDA R. Razifuddin and other high-level dignitaries from the tourism and development sector. In line with the overall strategy of the Sri Lanka Tourism Development Authority and in partnership with the United Nations Development Programme in Sri Lanka, the certification scheme was established in 2018 in line with the Global Sustainable Tourism Council guidelines. Time for a short commercial break now. How did the stock market end its first day for the week? Updates on it coming right after this. This is the Nightly Business Report. Welcome back to the Nightly Business Report. The Colombo Stock Exchange started the week in the red, hitting record lows in a negative trading session. Both the All Share Price Index and the S&P SL20 Index hit record lows at the end of today's trading session, resulting in a negative trajectory. To get a breakdown on today's market performance, let's join Rishita Pereira from SC Securities.
Yes, today the market got off to a slow start as trading commenced for June. The All Share Price Index closed at 12,050 points with a decline of 56 points, and the S&P SL20 Index closed at 3,561, a decline of 7 points. The turnover was recorded at 686.8 million rupees with a share volume of 43.1 million, indicating reduced investor activities against the previous weeks of trading as investors await clarity on external debt restructuring developments. The top gainers were Industrial Asphalt Ceylon, Nation Lanka Finance, Blue Diamonds and Ceylon Printers. Brown's Investments and Dialogue Asiata recorded the highest turnovers during today's session. There were no crossing transactions recorded for today. Additionally, the deadline for the voluntary offer by SG Holdings to purchase Expo Lanka shares held by shareholders will be extended until the 10th of June 2024.
We have seen quite a mix in last week's trading sessions at the Colombo Stock Exchange. And after beginning this week on a negative trajectory, how will the market performance throughout this week? Let's pose that question to Dimantha Matthew, connecting us from First Capital Holdings.
So during the last week, we've seen a bit of a slowdown in the market with the SPI declining in value. And if you look at the current situation, now we have news that the IMF board is assessing our application on the 12th of June. However, we are yet to see that the main conditions in that in terms of the external debt restructuring, we don't see any update on that or news on that front in terms of a deal, and in terms of the bilateral agreements that needs to be signed, also we don't see any update on that. So those are preconditions for the IMF second review and third tranche. So with the lack of news on those, there seems to be a lack in the confidence levels of investors as well. So with that, we feel that there is likely to be some amount of continued slowdown. However, the results of corporate earnings seems to be very strong, with the overall market earnings rising by around 33 to 35%. So, however, despite that, with the lack of news on the IMF front and on the debt restructuring front, we seem to be having a likely slowdown in the upcoming week as well. So turnover levels and volumes are also likely to be slow, and we feel that there could be opportunities for bargain hunting throughout the week, and with that there could be in the blue chip counters and the banking sector opportunities that may arise where high net worth and corporates can take advantage of.
Gold prices traded flat today as investors awaited multiple US economic reports this week for clues on health of the economy. After recent inflation reports suggested the Federal Reserve might have room for rate cuts in 2024. Spot gold was unchanged at $2,326.79 per ounce after hitting its lowest since May 9th earlier in the session. Bullion gained 2% in May and about 13% year to date. Data on Friday showed that the US inflation had stabilized in April, raising bets for a rate cut in September. Traders are currently pricing in about a 54% chance of a cut in September versus about 49% before the report. While bullion is considered an inflation hedge, higher rates increase the opportunity cost of holding the non-yielding assets. Oil prices rose today after OPEC Plus extended its current production cuts into 2025, although speculation over a ceasefire in Gaza limited the gains. Brent oil futures expiring in August gained 0.3% to $81.33 per barrel, while West Texas Intermediate crude futures held steady at $77 per barrel. Both contracts fell between 0.6% and 1% last week. Concerns over sluggish demand weighed on the market, following weaker than expected purchasing managers' index data from top oil importers in China. Fear of interest rates staying higher for longer also contributed to crude prices nursing losses from the previous week. OPEC Plus agrees to extend most of its deep oil output cuts well into 2025 as the group seeks to shore up the market amid tepid demand growth, high interest rates and rising rival US production.
The OPEC Plus group of oil-producing nations has agreed to extend its deep output cuts into 2025. Sunday's move comes amid tepid demand, high interest rates and rising production from the US, its big rival. Such factors have seen benchmark Brent crude prices trading near $80 per barrel, below what many of the group's members need to balance their budgets. OPEC and allies led by Russia have made deep production cuts since late 2022. They are currently curbing output by 5.86 million barrels per day, or close to 6% of global demand. Now the group says at least some of those cuts will extend right through next year. The energy minister for Saudi Arabia, OPEC's dominant player, said the organisation would wait for signs that growth is on the up and interest rates are on the way down. The news didn't give oil prices an immediate boost, with Brent trading lower in early Asian trade on Monday.
The Sri Lankan rupee remains steady against the US dollar at commercial banks in Sri Lanka today compared to last week. According to People's Bank, the buying and selling rates of the US dollar have increased from 296.30 rupees to 296.50 rupees and from 306.34 rupees to 306.54 rupees respectively. At Commercial Bank, the buying rate of the US dollar has dropped from 295.84 rupees to 295.59 rupees, while the selling rate has also dropped from 306 rupees to 305.75 rupees. Now let's take a look at the rupee's exchange rates against other major global currencies, including the Gulf region. Let's go for a short break now. This is the Nightly Business Report. Welcome back to the Nightly Business Report. National Development PLC has obtained authorised person status at the Colombo Port City. The agreement was formally exchanged between NDB Bank and the CPC Economic Commission at the Colombo Port City.
The Colombo Port City represents a transformative urban development project poised to position Sri Lanka as a major economic hub in South Asia. Envisioned as a world-class city with the state-of-the-art infrastructure, the CPC aims to attract global businesses, investors, and tourists by offering conducive environment for economic activities. The strategic location and advanced facilities at the CPC are set to enhance Colombo's prominence in international trade, finance, and businesses. NDB's involvement as an authorized financial entity within the CPC will provide businesses with access to tailored financial services, facilitating smooth operations and fostering the environment of growth and advanced solutions. The Colombo Port City is expected to generate substantial economic benefits, including job creation, increased foreign direct investment, and enhanced trade opportunities.
Expo Lanka Holdings PLC has announced key updates regarding its delisting process from the Colombo Stock Exchange, reflecting the company's strategic approach to stakeholder engagement and regulatory compliance. This follows disclosure on May 28, 2024 of a legal challenge filed with the Court of Appeal of the Democratic Socialist Republic of Sri Lanka, contesting the delisting. The Court of Appeal is set to hold a further hearing on the 6th of June 2024 to review the application challenging Expo Lanka Holdings delisting. In a strategic move to address the concerns of its diverse shareholder base, Expo Lanka Holdings has decided to extend the deadline for its exit offer until 4:30 p.m. on the 10th of June 2024. This extension responds to multiple requests from foreign shareholders and representatives of deceased shareholders who sought additional time to respond to the offer. Prime Lands Residencies PLC unveiled the Seasons Colombo 8, a development that stands as the latest architectural masterpiece that marks a pinnacle of ultra-luxury living in Colombo 8's prestigious residential enclave.
The Seasons is located in a highly residential area of Colombo 8. As a boutique residential development, the Seasons Colombo 8 offers an exclusive, intimate and customized ultra-luxury living experience in a prime location amidst an array of carefully picked amenities, catering into a niche affluent segment of home buyers with the 44 residencies. The residencies, ranging to 1,000 square feet, are all meticulously designed to evoke a sense of grandeur and comfort. Commenting on the new project, Prime Land Residencies PLC Director Shehana Brahmanage said that they are extremely pleased to introduce the Seasons Colombo 8, the ultra-luxurious boutique development within just 44 residences and the latest jewel that exceeds the boundaries of luxurious living. She added that it is an unrivaled development and demonstrates their commitment to delivering unmatched experiences and that they have set a new standard of elegance, unveiling another coveted address in Colombo. Residents can indulge in the essence of luxury living, where every space radiates refinement and exclusivity. The units feature timber flooring, designer walk-in closets, and fully fitted pantries equipped with next-generation appliances and quartz worktops to add a touch of elegance and to the culinary heavens.
Sri Lanka's national payment network, LankaPay, recently announced the appointment of veteran banker Mr. Lakshman Silva as its new chairman with effect from the 1st of June 2024 for a period of 3 years. This appointment comes with former chairman Dr. Kenneth De Silva stepping down from the position after an illustrious 3-year tenure. The appointment has been made by the governor of the Central Bank of Sri Lanka, Dr. Nandalal Veerasinghe. Mr. Silva is an illustrious banker with over 35 years of experience in the industry. Starting his professional career with the Department of Inland Revenue of Sri Lanka, he held the position of Deputy Chief Executive Officer of the DFCC Bank PLC from October 2015 and was appointed the Chief Executive Officer in August 2017, in which position he served until his retirement in 2021. Let's take a short commercial break. Global business updates coming on the other side. Welcome back to the Nightly Business Report. Most Asian stocks rose sharply today as speculation over interest rate cuts by major central banks boosted appetite for risk-driven assets. Technology-heavy indexes were among the best performers for the day. India's Nifty 50 index was a top performer for the day, tallying to record highs as exit polls showed the NDA alliance led by the BJP party was set to sweep the 2024 general elections. Hong Kong's Hang Seng Index and South Korea's Kospi were among the top performers for the day, surging between 2% and 2.5%. Gains in tech saw Japan's Nikkei 225 index at 0.8%, while Australia's ASX 200 rose 0.7%. China's Shanghai Shen CSI 300 and Shanghai Composite indexes rose marginally today, lagging their Asian peers after recent purchasing manager index data painted a mixed picture of the economy. Nvidia could soon surpass Apple to become the world's second most valuable company due to the reliance of virtually all artificial intelligence applications on Nvidia's high-end chips.
Nvidia could soon surpass Apple to become the world's second most valuable company as the biggest beneficiary of the surge in adoption of AI applications takes on the iPhone maker that has been the largest Wall Street firm by market value for years. The reliance of virtually all artificial intelligence applications such as OpenAI's ChatGPT on Nvidia's high-end chips has helped the stock nearly triple in value over the past year to $2.68 trillion. In contrast, Apple ceded its number one spot to Microsoft earlier this year as the once high-flying company grapples with weak demand for its iPhones and tough competition in China. It was last valued at $2.92 trillion. The semiconductor company is heavily weighted on the S&P 500 and the Nasdaq and has been pivotal in driving US stocks to record highs. It accounted more than a third of the S&P 500's gain this year. Nvidia also became the fastest company to grow from $1 trillion to $2 trillion in 2024, zooming past Amazon.com, Google parent Alphabet, and Saudi Aramco.
Well, that is all from us here at the Nightly Business Report. Tune in again tomorrow for more happenings in the business world. Until then, I'm Sanu Mudanayaka. Have a good night.